Welcome everyone. In today's session, we are going to cover strings and the methods associated with the string. So, what we learned in the last session is we learned about the print statement, how to format it using f strings and the dot format method, and we also learned how to make our programs interactive by using the input function that takes in a user input. So, in today's session, we are going to learn a bit more about strings, which is one of the very fundamental data types in Python. So, strings can be used in a lot of different types of programs. So, wherever you are involving file paths, user inputs, you are creating some variables. So, everywhere string might get involved. So, in this session, we will try to focus on how to manipulate strings using operators and certain built-in methods, and by the end of the session you will be confident in handling text and formatting if like you want to in future have if you would be working with generative AI where there are a lot of prompts involved. So ideally string is a very fundamental type that should be known to us. So, first of all, what is a string? So, a string in Python is a sequence of characters, while in other languages, a character can be a different data type itself. But with respect to Python, string and character both are same, and character can be represented as a string with a length of size 1. And there are certain different ways to create a string. You can use simple single quotation, double quotation mark, or the three backticks as well. And all of those shall work fine. So let's try to just look at the code for this. So I can create three variables with all the three different methods. And now I'll go and try to print them and also trying to check their types. So let me just clear my terminal. So, yeah, as you can see, despite creating my strings in three different ways, the type they hold are still the same with everyone. They are all of the string type. So you can choose to create your strings in with any method you like. There is no issue. Uh, just that ideally, if you're starting a string like this, let's say A, but if you add something like this, right? So this will cause problems with the string because what it will identify is it starts from here, ends from here, but for the particular characters B and C, it doesn't have a start string. So what you can do is you can just simply add this backslash, and this shall be taken into consider like this. Or the other method, what you can do is you can simply add this single quotation. But if your formatting requires double quotations, then you shall use a backslash. So that is how you will operate with the formatting of a string. When coming to certain basic string operations, so like the basic uh, addition, multiplication methods. So with respect to strings, both addition and multiplication exist. So addition lets you concatenate and merge two different strings. To create repetitions for your particular sequence of characters, you can use the multiplication sign. To check the length, you can use the length function, and there are membership operators like in and not in. So let's see, check out a code. So we'll be going to create two variables, A and B. So as I mentioned, addition can be used to concatenate or merge two different strings. So here if you see, I'm particularly using A and B, and if I just add in a blank space between them, so like with the use of plus signs, this whole will be captured as hello world. Then we can also do repetition. So as you see, A multiplied by 3 will the output would be hello 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 without any space in between them. Then to check the length of a particular string, you can simply do length A, as hello is a 5 character sequence, the output would be 5. And with respect to membership operators, so membership operators work in a way that it checks if the pattern of the characters that I mentioned are in the same order as in the original string. So let's say for print, LO in A. So in hello, does LO exist in the same pattern? And do they occur in A? So if yes, they occur, the output would be true. So here as LO occurs at the end of hello in the same way as we have written, so the output would be true. But for the next line, hi not in A, so the output is still true because not in will check that it doesn't exist in A. So hi doesn't occur in hello, so that's why the output is still true. And if you want to, let's say, go check something like this, uh let's say I will put here only hi in A. So, so if you see now output is false. So hi in A, the output is false, meaning the Boolean operator says that hi doesn't occur in A, but if was not, meaning hi not in A, because we are trying to check that hi doesn't exist in A, which means that our hypothesis is true that hi doesn't exist in A. So that's how you can play with in and not in functions. Then coming to string slicing, so slicing allows you to access substrings using indexes in a string, as strings are a sequence of characters. There exist indexes with which you can access parts of string called as substrings. Slicing is a very powerful method for passing data, extracting parts of strings. Not only strings, slicing can be used for list and tuples as well. And with slicing, you can also reverse a string as well. So understanding the slicing syntax would be very useful for efficient text processing. So let me directly jump to the code part because we will try to understand the index first. So how indexes occur is, so let's say I have a variable s with value Python programming. So the indexing starts from 0. So p here will start from 0 left to right, and g will be the one with the last index. So if you calculate the total characters here, it will be 17. So the index of G would be 16. As P, we are not considering starting from 1, it starts from 0. So it will be like the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this manner it will go. And if we consider reverse indexing, the reverse indexing starts from -1. So it goes in a way like this: -1, -2, -3. It doesn't start with 0. So it will go from -1 to -17. So that's how this works. And now coming to the slicing part, how you can use indexes to slice and access a substring from the string. So you can pass in two values. One would be the starting index, and one would be the number of characters you require. So if I do something like 0 colon 6, so how it will proceed is, it will start with 0th index and go up to 6 characters. So 6 characters stop here, that is python. So if you observe, the indexes, total indexes would go from 0 to 5, and that will be equal to 6 characters. Then another way is you don't define any particular value. So how it works is 6 colon, and you don't provide a value, that means it will go till the last character of your sequence. So here it starts from P and goes till the end and stops at G. Then you can also use negative indexes to capture certain value. So let's say if I cap start with this particular 6 index, also happens to be -11 into the negative sequencing. So I can start from -11 and it will go like this till -4. So remember negative indexing also. So ideally we always go from a less value to a high value in indexing. So negative values also, remember, -11 is smaller than -4. So here also it will go from left to right, like smaller number to larger number. Then to reverse a string, what you can do is you can simply do colon, colon, and this last value would be for step. So if I just mention -1, meaning take the whole string with a step of -1, so it just captures the string in a reverse order. And by chance, if you pass in large value to a small value. So I will just run this. So you can see we got four outputs here, like Python programming program and the reverse string order. Now I will just uncomment this and try to run this also. So you see this is a blank output here I got. Blank output I got is because -4 to -11, larger value to smaller value is not possible with respect to slicing. So remember this as well. Right. Then coming to certain useful methods. So these methods are with respect to the case conversion. So they help with formatting the cases of strings. So we can normalize our strings before comparison, or when you want to show the results back to a user. So this kind of formatting can be pretty useful. So again, I will directly jump back to the code. So let's say we have a text hello world. There are four simple methods available for it. One is upper, which converts all the values to uppercase. Dot lower converts all the characters to lowercase. Title converts the first character of each word into upper value, and capitalized it will just convert the first character of the whole string in a capitalized format. So let's just try to run this. Yeah, so if you can see, the output is same as how um, like the ideal output we're trying to get. So that is how these four different case conversion methods work. Then we have other two methods called as split and join. So what split does, it passes your sentences into a list. It splits your overall sequence, and join does the opposite. It joins your strings together. So if I go to the code, yeah. So let's say I had Python is fun. And what this blank space does is it splits by a space by default, or if you want to particularly split it with something, I will just add a blank string here. So what this blank string does is it splits the particular sequence into a list, and this particular like whatever was splitted, the split values are stored separately as an element in a list. So how it's got stored is Python is fun. So we will talk a bit more about list into the next session, but for now think of it that this is a kind of a list that has been generated with each particular sequence of characters that were splitted by the split function. And how join works is this join combines the splitted work together. So let's say you have a list, you have so or tuple. So you, if you want to just combine them together, so you can just simply do rejoin. So let's say if I add a dash here in between. So what it does is first splitted the whole text by a blank space, and we joined it back by using a simple uh, dash. So the output here now is Python dash is dash fun. Now there is also another function that is replace. So what you can simply do is, that is, I can also do something like this: text dot replace. Sorry, it was sentence. So sentence dot replace, and this will also do the same thing, that it will replace the blank space by a dash. So that is how split, join, and replace method will work for the strings. Right. So in today's session, we learned how to work with strings and how to format them. And as discussed, strings would be used everywhere, and it's very advisable to learn this basic formatting string techniques, which make them more cleaner and more readable. You should know how to manipulate, slice, and format the strings effectively. And in next session, we are going to learn about list and tuples, which would be the very basic building blocks of managing collection data types in Python. So this list and tuples allows us to work with multiple values, which are very crucial for real world applications. So yes, let's let's try to learn more about this collection data types in the next upcoming sessions. Thank you for joining today's session. Let's meet in the next session. Have a nice day.